If you can't afford the house, don't buy it. If you really can't swing it, please just hold on a little bit. What I'd rather see is you come up with a plan with them as opposed to a ta-da moment.
Nick, my company is making $20K a month. I want a shop to work on my truck and equipment. Is it worth buying one and maintaining an entire shop, or renting a cheap bay somewhere and writing it off instead?
Yes.
Thanks for the 10 years of laughs.
It's worth it to, you can if you can afford it. You make it $20K a month. If you can find a nice piece of property that's going to cost you $2,000 a month, which is a $100,000 building, $150,000 building, go for it. I don't think you will. If you can, what I would do is I would always split a big factory like find a guy who owns a factory that bought it, like a big stupid factory. Those guys love money. Those guys who buy those like 30,000 square foot mills and big buildings, they just want people there so people don't rob the place. Literally. They'll give you a sweetheart deal. So instead of buying the place and really, say you're buying a kind of a crappy commercial building for $200,000, they don't typically trade too well. They kind of just serve as a utility. So I don't really love that as like a growth asset in the real estate sector. If you have good plans for it and you can cut it up and put like 3 different shops and start to get some stupid rents and really, really change what the building or the function of the building is, that's a different story. But as far as like a shop to work on your trucks, it's going to be a shop to work on your trucks, right? So what I would do is I would find one of these guys with a mill building or something like that. Just one of these big metal buildings. Big lawyers, like big rich guys buy them, doctors and groups of dentists. Say, listen, I'll give you $500 a month and I want to use this space, and just kind of like draw a line in a big room and just say, no, I only need like this space, and then just use the rest of it. That's what I would do. Like, oh no, I'm only going to use this part right here. Can I rent this desk for like, I just want to rent this little portion of your garage, this desk for like $200 a month, and then just use the whole place.
What happens if they barge in?
They're not going to barge in.
Yeah.
They're too busy listening to jazz.
I bought my house for $310 5 years ago in Silverton, Oregon. Nice little town, very clean and getting cleaner. It's now worth around $500K. Should I sell now or wait for a better time?
What's your plan? So you have equity, right? You got this $200,000 burning a hole in your pocket, right? What's your plan? If you were going to sell, if you do have something to sell, I would like, this is going to be your year to get off of your high property. I think that's just my bet. If you know you're going to sell it in the next 5 years, you've got 12 to 16 months to sell it. That's my 2 cents on any of that. Now, that being said, are you comfortable with selling your house, being homeless, moving in with your parents, renting a place for 6 months or so, throwing $6,000 to $15,000 in the trash, and then essentially buying something for half the price of the market currently, or buying in an area that you don't necessarily know anyone? Those are the questions you're going to have to ask yourself. Will you move to a town over and start this fire over again? Will you move to another part of the country where the houses are cheaper? What are you going to do with that $200,000? That's really what it is, right? You turned $30,000 into $200,000 in the course of like 3 to 5 years. So what are you gonna do with the profits? And if not, if you don't have a good plan for it, stay, rent, borrow and grab, which is like stay there, rent your place out for your mortgage. So if you say your mortgage on $300,000 and your nice cheap mortgage that you have from a couple years ago is, let's just say for $300,000 was probably $1,680 with taxes, $1,700, and if you can go back to the bank, take a $75,000 line of equity and go buy another house, and then have your line of equity money and your $1,700 initial money. So if you can rent your house out for $2,300, break even, and then kind of move on again, that's a maneuver. If you want to sell it and grab the $200, that's a maneuver. Or you just stay put, do nothing, and start competitive eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like holding French fries like this.
Dustin Mackin with $20 bought our starter home, $120K left on the loan, making close to $100K a year with my girl. Want to buy Graham's reverse mortgage home as well, so my mom and dad have a place to live till they die. Can I swing both? Oh, can swing both barely. Remember that one again?
Well, your parents don't expect to live for free. So grab them for something.
Really?
I like to think about this. Let me help you chew that down a little bit. This is something that. So let's just say the mortgage on Graham's reverse mortgage is like $1,200 a month. Let's just say that. I don't know what it is. Let's say you're going to assume, you're gonna pay her off. Can you be the reverse mortgage to her? Can you pay her back slowly for a said number? And if so, let's add those payments up in a 12-month period. So let's just call it 12 to 12, 14,000 a year, 14.4. So you're gonna give grandma 15 grand a year. Think of it at like 15 grand a year, right? And then you're obviously gonna own the house. And then you have to make sure like your parents just pay the taxes and the utilities, right? Just pay the annual taxes for the house. Let's just say it's $2 grand, 2,500 a year, 3,000 a year in taxes, which is, you're talking about $400 a month, right? No one rides for free. They don't expect it though. And your parents can come up with $5 grand a year to live. If you want to be a superhero, go for it. But that, I just to help you digest it a little bit better, a little enzyme, is add the payments up a year, and then sort of that's how you can kind of quantify how much you can bite off. You're making next to 100 grand a year. After taxes, you're taking home 65 to 72 grand a year. Plus the chick's taking in some money too. I'm sure, but you got a nice cheap mortgage, and you basically, you're not going to buy yourself a car, and you're not going to treat yourself to a vacation, but you're going to buy yourself. So it's noble that you want to take care of your folks, but if you think about it like, oh, I have to take care of 15 grand a year, and your parents like, well, it's going to actually be 5 grand. I can throw in 5 grand. Okay, cool. So it's 10. Now I have to come up with 10 grand a year, and yeah, why not? I mean, in the end of the day, it's a place that generationally you'll be able to pass on, and you're basically, that's a nice way to do it. And I think about doing the same thing for my folks. I'm gonna buy them a nice shed to live in. Mom, Dad, sell your house. Rent it.
Look at this flat.
You can live here with this guy.
Then his new message is reverse mortgage guy again. The new house will be an investment property. Can I have 3 to 4 co-signers on the deed? What are the tax rules when it comes to investment properties? What do I need to know before pulling the trigger?
No, you can't. I mean, why would you want co-signers on the deed? No. It doesn't do anyone good to like spread. It doesn't do any good to try to spread the the obligation over 5 people. You should put it on one person, and then use another person to build theirs. That's kind of like the way you should think about it, rather than everybody get in, then we can use everybody's credit. You can have a qualified co-buyer in most cases, but anything where you need the credit or income, what I'm guessing is someone's income is good and someone's credit you're limited. You can drop some payments, or you can transfer some of the auto loans to someone's credit. That's, you know what I mean? You can organize your credit a little bit. Are you too hawked to buy the house? Is that the problem? Do you have an auto loan and you're maxed out and you can't, so you need someone else to justify it or to co-sign for you? Taxes. I don't know how much I can help you there, buddy. You're paying. You can put houses in LLCs and stuff like that if you want to. In Cobra, I don't know how to do that. You have to set up trusts. I really need my lawyer buddy here to do it, and he won't do the show because he doesn't want to show his face. But I really need him to. That's a real good question for him as far as overall. But it's not the worst idea if you wanted to buy a multifamily and put your parent folks in one of the units, a secondary dwelling, or a secondary, just the second home. If you wanted to make the second home a multifamily that would skirt the costs of it, right? So if you bought a duplex and basically it cost you $1,400 a month, and the side unit pays $1,400, your parents live in another one, but now you're putting your parents in a precarious situation. What happens if your tenant starts, playing guitar in the middle of the night, starts kicking their dog in the ribs, swearing at it in German? What happens if they're cooking horse head soup? What happens if you get Vil Vallo in there and he's like, I got my mom's recipe, cranberries and snake meat.
Cooked sour?
Cooked sour. I'm trying to think, man. It's a pretty loaded question. You really, really putting the brakes on me today. I'm a little cloudy. I got to be straight with you. I want to know why you can't just buy a house. If you can't afford the house, don't buy it. If you really can't swing it, please just hold on a little bit. What I'd rather see is you come up with a plan with them as opposed to a ta-da moment. If you can barely afford it, no offense, you are not in a position to do look what I did for you, Mom. I bought you a house. If you don't got that kind of money, man, don't pretend. Don't try to be a hero. You'll blow it all for trying to be Mr. Nice Guy, right? But what you can do is be like, Mom and Dad, I'm trying to put a situation where I'm trying to burden your living cost. I'm trying to I'm trying to like put you in a place where your living costs are going to go down to next to zero. Is that cool? Yeah, I love that. Let's come up with a plan where how much money you can come up with annually, and let's try to find a piece of property. And I will make sure that I will cover the costs of the home, of the money, the debt service. If you just tell me what you're looking for and what your pain tolerance is. Will they live in a 3-family? Will they live in a 2-family? Will they live in a 1-family? Will they live in a trailer park? Will they live in a vacation rental? Will they move around a lot? Will they live in a camper on a piece of land that you might find a deal on? You got to let me know a little bit more. You know what I mean? But that the consideration as far as putting a plan together, an estate plan. I don't know how much money you have to have, and like I haven't gotten into this. The next like real big thing is like trusts. I don't know anything about it. I don't even want to pretend. I know it's something I should do. Is like do like trusts, and I'm trying to work this out. I know like less than 1%. I know the word trusts exists, but I am just too busy right now to sit down with my buddy and sort of like iron that out with what I have going on. But that is next. You can look into it, but. And real estate attorneys might be you might find real estate attorneys and find the legalities of your state by way of taxes. I'm just trying to not give you a non-answer here, man. But honestly, now that I think about it, what I would do is I would go to my buddy who is a real estate attorney, and I would ask him the questions because it obviously goes state by state. That's his concern over not coming on this stream, is that he's an attorney. He doesn't want to say anything that's not legal in another state, right? Because he looks like a slime ball. Yeah, yeah. So it's already bad enough he's an attorney. Because we all know attorneys are slime. Yeah. Sorry, it is what it is.